So War Thunder's latest update, Wind of Change, finally arrived a few days ago. Not only was it a fairly large update, but it was extremely anticipated as well. A lot of long-awaited changes in vehicles are finally pushed through, but how does the update actually stack up? A few of you guys have been asking for my thoughts on it, and I think I've played it enough to get a solid idea. But before we get into it, I want to talk about my sponsor. I'm partnered with Apex Gaming. They make pre-built PCs. If you're looking to upgrade, you should check them out. Link is in the description and comments. You can use my username as a discount code on checkout. Now back to the video. Overall, this update's a bit mixed, so before getting into the negatives, let's talk about the positives. With the upgrade to Daigor 6.5, Wind of Change brought a lot of visual improvements to the table, and most of them look pretty good. The new surface rendering makes maps look less muddled, with details popping out a fair bit more. Plenty of new effects were added as well, such as shadows from smoke and shockwaves. Those two in particular look very nice, though I'm not really a fan of the new GPU grass. It doesn't look great, and it really messes with the compression on YouTube videos. I wouldn't care if there was a way to toggle it, but there isn't. Some UI elements were also updated, and they look incredibly crisp. I didn't realize it until now, but the old ones look kinda fuzzy. Helicopter PvE was also added, and compared to Heli EC, it is a massive step in the right direction. In EC, the entire game mode was completely ruined by KA-50s. They would just bring a full loadout of Vikers and dominate everything. Now you can just sit back and take out AI as you please. That being said, there's a lot of room for improvement. The AI roll-ins are a bit too strong. Apparently they don't have to reload, so unless you can spam missiles like the KA-50, you can't really fight them if they're locked onto you. The rewards also aren't great. I understand it's PvE, but if I'm going to invest time in such a long mission, I think the payout should reflect that. And of course, I have to talk about the LAV-AD. I've been waiting for it to be added for a while now, and it certainly doesn't disappoint. It can kill tanks pretty well if you know how to use it, but it's not a monster. It's not like the R3 was, where it's a better tank destroyer than SPAA. The Stingers can be inconsistent to say the least, but when they do work properly, it's always a lot of fun. If you want a strong anti-air for your lineup, you're probably better off taking the Roland, but it can work well as a multi-purpose vehicle. I only really have one gripe, and that is that it can only lock helis at short range, like 2.5 kilometers away, which brings us to the negatives. With all the unbalanced vehicles being added, it feels like this is definitely a cash grab update. I'm honestly not able to tell if the A10 is busted or not, because almost universally, the pilots are incredibly inexperienced and don't do well. I will say this though, I don't think a 9.7 jet should have AIM-9Ls. It doesn't sit well with me at all. I guess its saving grace is that 9Ls are really easy to flare right now, but that seems to be a bug. Meanwhile, A10 sales have been monumental. There are so many A10s that not only is it US versus US in air RB, but it's the same for ground RB as well. Most of my air kills with the LAV were A10s. Looking at my decal revenue, A10 sales make up a quarter of it. Another great example is the Swedish Mi-28. At a BR of 9.7, it not only gets APDS for its cannon, but it also gets 16 Attack-A missiles. Essentially, it is a flying BMP-2. For the sake of comparison, look at the AH-1F. It gets 8 TOW missiles and a 20 mil. Not only do the TOWs have far less range, but they also have less penetration. The gun also has far less penetration, just 53 millimeters. For the Mi-28, it can pen 82. There's only one thing the Cobra has over it, and that is thermals. And of course, there's the Puma. The Puma is one of the most broken vehicles added in recent history. I already made a video explaining why I think that is. Great characteristics all around, practically immune to heat and missiles, and on top of that, it can eat APFSDS sometimes. Some people claim that video didn't count, because my vehicle is spaded. So I made it stock and yeah. Look guys, I get the Puma was highly anticipated, but you have to remember, when it was first added, the 9040B was the same BR, and it was very overpowered. It's now 9.3. The Puma combined with the fixed bug light, which did not see a BR increase, means that the 8.0 BR bracket is being absolutely dominated by German teams. And finally, a really small complaint. The old filter system for stats was fine, there was no reason to change it, and the new system is outright worse. So in summary, the update wrecked the game's balance in a lot of areas, but otherwise it was pretty good. It's cool to see all the unique Israeli vehicles in game, though a lot of them seem to be over-tiered, and the grind looks kinda rough because of it. From a technical standpoint, the update mostly brought improvements to the table, so that's cool. I'm hoping they sort out the balance issues soon. Anyway, that's pretty much all I've got to say. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you on the next one.